All right, welcome to this lesson, and we're going to work with animation and animated icons using LottieFiles.com and the LottieFiles Figma plugin. All right, so let's say, for instance, on the download page, when somebody clicks on send me the PDF, we want like a little overlay, kind of like a overlay or a pop-up or whatever you want to call it, where it has like an animated downloading icon that's looping, and also some text that says downloading, your download will begin momentarily, something like that. So first what we'll do is I like to be able to design within the actual container first, and then we'll pull it out and it'll be a frame, and it'll be beneath it. So let's go ahead, and there's a couple ways to do this really. We could just grab this background right here and just duplicate it, right click, bring the front, and then hold Alt and kind of pull it into where our grid container begins. And maybe it'll be about this tall. We'll use 5 for the corners just to keep consistent, and we will also use our style. Now we can kind of see the other button right here, so we're gonna push that right there. And it's just gonna overlay just like this, and this would be completely fine. So now what we can do is start designing for it. We're going to have type on top, kind of like a headline. And by the way, if you don't want to select other elements, for instance, other type elements behind it, we can just pull it off and just design right here. So what we can do is we can left click here and just put in downloading. All right. Now right now we can take both of these and make them a frame. So right click and frame selection. All right, great. So now this gives us the option for alignment pretty easily inside of here. Now our intention is to have an icon at the top of this that will animate, but for now we're just gonna get the type done really quickly. We can come over here, for instance, and copy this and then just paste that. We're gonna make this white as well. Or we can get the current background color, which is right here, and just kind of off tone it a little bit. You don't want to go too dark because then you run into contrast issues. We're going to take both of these, by the way, and center them and make sure they're both centered in the container. Now for the type, we're going to specify your download will begin momentarily or shortly or something like that. So we'll move these down. There we go. Now they're centered up. And then now we're going to do the fun part, which is a Lottie animation. So I want you to go to plugins and go to browse plugins in community. It's going to open this up, and then we can type in here LottieFiles. All right, so for LottieFiles under plugin, you want to make sure this is installed right here. You will also have to create a free account at LottieFiles.com, but once you get that going and you open it up here by clicking LottieFiles, it will have you log in, and then you can revert back to this tab right here, and you can begin to work on it. So you can search through LottieFiles right here, or you could just go to LottieFiles.com. For instance, if we want a downloading icon, so if we put downloading, we'll see what we come up with here. Now, I personally like to use LottieFiles.com, and I'll show you why in a second. What we can do is just type in downloading here. If you want like a larger interface to be able to look at this stuff through, it can be helpful. For us, I'm going to be using one of these here. And you want to make sure that the one that you use is something that's going to work well and have colors that you can easily edit it. So we're going to use this one right here. And right now it's going to have a white background with this black exactly as seen here. We don't want that because our background is going to be that purple overlay color. So what we could do is we could change the background color here, and if that's all you need to change, that's fine. But if you need to change more colors, you click on Edit Layer Colors. So then this will give us the option right here in this interface to change things as we need. So we can go back to our prototype. We can grab our primary color. And if we come over here, let's see here, edit style, this will give us the color code right down there. All right, we can go back and we can specify that color code right here. Make sure to put the little hash sign, hit enter, and there we go. But we want this to be white. So the group colors right here, we see black, and you can't see this, there it is, the update button. There we go. Now I'm not sure why there's a red color here because I don't see any red, so that's nothing to worry about. Now what we'll do is click this button, and this will download a JSON file, which is how LottieFiles are constructed. All right, so then what you can do is you can open that up in your browser or show in folder. And mine showed up on my other monitor, so that's why you don't see it. And now what we can do here is we can drag it right onto here. And we can't see it right now, but the background color, we want to change that. We're gonna have to change it here as well. So if we just type that, hit enter, there we go. Now, in order for this to have actual animation, we have to convert it to a GIF file. Now, depending on how long the animation is, this can take a little bit of time. So clearly this is gonna take, perhaps 30 seconds to a minute. One thing to note though that's very interesting that just recently came up as a new development, Adobe XD or Adobe Experience Design as it's called, is a competitor app to Figma. They just recently relaunched a LottieFiles plugin that allows you to do this process without having to convert it to a GIF. So that is one advantage currently at the time of this recording, in which Adobe XD works with LottieFiles, better and it's more efficient. Adobe XD also, I might as well just talk while this is going on, also allows you to integrate video. So at the time of recording this video, Figma doesn't allow you really to just import MP4 files and play them in your prototypes, whereas Adobe XD does. So hopefully that competition will eventually entice Figma to also improve that sort of functionality and integrate it as well. So once this is done converting here in just a few more frames, we'll be able to add it to our frame and then adjust the size, and it will work and it will look really smooth, even for a GIF file. All right, so it's gonna sit at converting just a little bit longer while it's here at the end. And there we go, add to Figma. We can close this out now, and we'll get this centered up, hold Shift-Alt, scale it down. Depending on the size that you don't want icons that are too big. This looks like it might be pretty decent right here. And then, just to get this all prototyped up, we'll switch to prototype. When somebody clicks on the send me the PDF button, we click here. We don't navigate, we open the overlay. And this time, we're gonna check centered and we're gonna check manual right here. So then we can just move this up holding Shift where we think it should be, which is pretty much dead center. And we'll see if this works out as we expect. All right, so let's click on download brochure. Send me the PDF is not working. Oh, and once again, I did that horrible thing where I'm using the previous prototype that's based on a different Figma file. All right, so let's do this again. Download brochure, send me the PDF. All right, so we see that this animation is not working, and that's because it is outside of the frame. And there we go. Look at that. Let's go ahead and just revert back to this previous step. If we go back to prototype, we want to make sure that this is on click. Download brochure, send me the PDF, and there we go. Very cool. So now at this point, to get rid of this, we could just make this whole area clickable. So we can make it go back on click, and we could just do a dissolve perhaps, and we'll see how this works. So we click on that. There we go. And if we want animation, like for instance, we want that overlay to kind of fly up from the bottom, we can click on this connection. We change this animate to move in and up. All right, so now we click it, And there we go. Awesome stuff. So now we have a prototype that's based on a mobile design that is working pretty well. Contact us. Everything here is all working well. So now in the next lesson, we're going to take a look at this button right here, these two buttons, and we're going to get into a little bit of advanced prototyping because we want some really interesting hover-based animations to work, and also the ability to customize the icons and swap them out really easy based on a single component with variants.